You know, as much as I love doing video game reviews for all of you people out there, I often find myself getting into the same situation. What game should I even review? The choices are so infinite, the land is so broad. Where does one go just to get an idea?
You could always review Gyro, mate. It's my favorite.
Well, it may be your favorite, Rob, but I don't exactly see people busting down the door in excitement to hear a video game review about Gyromite.
Have you seen your channel lately? There's nobody there to watch anything.
Hey!
Kidding. Not really.
I was thinking more of a review along the lines of an arcade classic that was ported to a console, maybe.
Oh wow, that narrows it down.
Wait, I got it! Toki, the ape!
Toki? Oh, I love that game on the Nintendo. It was a classic where you could...
On the Genesis!
You're dead to me.
Messed up game did I just put in the Genesis?
I told you that Genesis was evil. Let me end it.
Oh, okay, let's try to establish what's going on here. We got a man and a woman in the middle of the wilderness, about to get it on. I'm down with that. And then
out of nowhere, a giant castle takes form with giant hands that creep up out of nowhere and kidnap the girl. All while a sorceress comes down and turns our male lead into an ape. Why?
He's an asshole.
While taking it at face value, there is really no legitimate reason why things are going on. Most arcade games at the time really didn't give you any defined reason as to why things were happening anyway. You just kind of had to roll with it and have fun with it as you just played along.
As mentioned, Toki has a few different ports. One of them for the NES named simply Toki, which you may have seen another reviewer already cover. The original arcade game, as well as ports to the Atari Lynx, Atari ST, Amiga, and the Commodore 64, and of course, the Sega Genesis.
Psh, Rob, be nice.
On the Sega Genesis, the game is titled Toki Going Ape Spit. Ape Spit? Ape Shit? I get it.
Yeah, so did someone else.
Huh?
Once you start the game... Oh, wait, what?
Oh, it's one of those games, yeah, where you die with one hit.
Well, after establishing that, you'll find that Toki is basically a run-and-gun type of game, very similar to the Contra franchise. The only difference is in Contra, when you die, you respawn right where you died, granted if you had lives to do so, but in Toki, when you die, you start back at the beginning of the stage, every single time.
Well, we confirmed it. This game sucks. Let's play some NES.
Okay, Rob, hold on now. We still gotta give the game a try, see if it's any good.
Despite dying in one hit, fortunately the game offers plenty of leniency to keep the player from getting frustrated. Each stage is in layers of usually 3, and by that I mean each level is segmented out like an obstacle course with 3 checkpoints marked exit. So with quite a bit of trial and error, you should be able to navigate each zone and make it to each one. Then, should you die again, you will respawn at that zone. Each one is fairly short. I would estimate about the same length as the first Mario level. Just imagine it being much more convoluted with enemies from Zelda 2. Yeah, now we're talking. Again, fortunately, Toki is not completely defenseless against this whole ordeal. He can spit infinitely in any direction just like in Contra, and also gain power-ups to give him different spitting abilities. Unfortunately, each power-up is timed and will stay with you for roughly about 20 seconds. Each one will at least help you get rid of some of the pests that you may have had a problem with. Granted, these zones aren't very long anyway. This should come as little annoyance. Some of the powers worth mentioning are the Flamethrower, don't bother asking why it works underwater, the Wave Attack, and the Spread, and the Bounce Shot. After you clear the 3 zones, you face a boss. Now if you're quick with your thumb and firing skills, defeating them shouldn't be hard. Plus, as I said, if you're quick, you may actually beat them before they even manage to do something. Luckily, if you do manage to eat it while fighting the boss, you will respawn at the start of the fight, so unlike most, there is actually mercy here. You can even adjust the difficulty setting and how many lives you are given at the start of the game. The music for Toki going Ape Spit is relatively catchy, but not that large of a score, as most of the game will be playing the same track over and over again. At least it's not annoying. Among the power-ups, I found some sneakers that allow Toki to go faster and jump higher. They last even less of a time than the regular power-ups, so when you get them, you have to use them right away to get where you need to. Maybe even find a shortcut to the exit rather than take the long way. While doing so, Toki can find food that can and will pop out of the enemies on a regular basis, and by collecting enough of them, you can get more lives to play the game longer. The enemies and stage layouts are a little creative. You will fight against other animals such as monkeys, birds, some stone pillars that explode fire, don't ask. And what game would be complete without the infamous spikes?
Spike traps! Of course, no matter what game I play, the spike traps always gotta follow me. Every time I start to see pointy objects, I get really nervous. Not in just video games, but in real life too. Because no matter what game it is, I either explode, die instantly, or any number of terrible things happen. I mean, that's kind of the point, right?
You also have water levels, a fire stage, and an ice level. Aye, things I absolutely hate in video games. You know, sometimes I wonder why I even like video games at all, when I often hate dealing with the latter of these elemental levels and the hazards within them. Even some of the bosses are pretty interesting though, like the marshmallow on steroids, and this one who tries to kill you with his burping words. That's kinda clever actually. Toki himself, aside from shooting, can also duck and walk on his hands and still be able to fire. And like Mario, jump on most of his enemies. So while the game is fairly difficult from the constant dying you'll no doubt be doing, you will at least feel like it's a challenge you can overcome. Toki going Ape Spit isn't a very long game if you know what you're doing. After playing for about half an hour, you will probably grasp everything the game will throw at you. The funny thing about it is that the whole game is kind of addicting. Similar to those cheap cell phone games like Angry Birds or Flappy Bird, Toki presents a challenge that anybody can pick up and play and be addicted to because the challenge is something that you could possibly face and see coming and know how to overcome it with a little time and practice.
So at the end of the day, we say give Toki going Ape Spit a try. It's certainly an interesting little gem. If you've got a Sega Genesis or an emulation program, you might find yourself being able to enjoy it a little bit. There, you see, Rob? Now, was that so bad? Sega is a great console.
Nope.
But it is!
Nope.
Really?
Nope.
Rob is awesome.
Nope. Damn it!
It's too easy. Too easy!